sold the property.
It might have been, yeah.
Okay.
They have a couple. They have two in Brockton.
Yeah, one is owned by another used car person, and then the other one's over by Walmart. I buy a lot of cars from them.
Just a heads up, I can hear someone's TV in the background. Just so y'all know. I'm not sure who it is.
We are now live.
Okay, and the streaming is good, Isaiah?
Streaming is good. We're not live, but the streaming is good.
Okay, so you can probably start that whenever Tony gets back, and then everyone's here now, so she can start the meeting once that's up and running.
Okay.
All right, I'll start now, Tony.
All right. Ready to go. Good evening, everyone.
Here we go.
A couple. Here we go. All right. Good evening, everyone. Tony Gonzalez, Chair of the Planning Board for the City of Brockton, calling tonight's meeting together for January 6, 2026. Oh, the agenda says 25th. You might want to correct that, Isaiah. We have a brief agenda. First, we're going to do roll call. And I start with, oh goodness, I'm flipping back and forth. There's my people. There's my people. Matthew Gallagher.
Here.
James Sweeney.
Here.
Marty Crowell.
Here.
Yolanda Spinola.
Here.
All right, Tony is present. All right. So for the agenda, is there a vote to accept last month's meeting minutes, please?
Motion to accept November 25's minutes.
Second?
All right, roll call. Matthew.
Yes.
James.
Yes.
Marty.
Yes.
Yolando.
Yes.
Tony, yes. All right. Next, we added two surety releases. Are you going to take those, Evan?
I can. So the first one is Braymore. So if you guys remember the Braymore extension subdivision that came like a year ago or so, they have been at work on that. It was 12 lots. You all are holding all 12 right now. They are coming back and asking for 5 of the 12 to be released. We have had letters from the engineering firm and the DPW verifying that they've done everything all the work, like what work they've done up to this point so far. So I don't see any problem with releasing these lots. They're asking for lots 1 through 5.
All right, is there a motion?
Motion to approve?
Second.
Lots 1 through 5.
Second that.
All right, roll call. Matthew.
Yes.
James.
Yes.
Marty.
Yes.
Yolando.
Yes.
Tony, yes. All right, thank you. Next one.
All right, the next one is on the other side of town. This is the Mia Meadows that is off of North Quincy Street. They are basically coming up to the end of this. They had come back to swap their surety a few months ago. You guys released the rest of the lots in exchange for a cash, basically. So right now, you guys are holding about $250,000, like $250,000 in surety for them. They've been hard at work. They're actually the only things left they have to do is install some curbing and some sidewalks. And again, we also have the DPW has what's it called? Inspected everything and said everything is good. So they are asking for the release of $162,550, and the board will hold the remaining $83,000. So I don't see any that should be enough to cover all the remaining work. I don't see any issues with releasing that. So if you guys agree, you'll want to state the actual amount as well, and I can repeat it if you need to.
So it's 83,000 that will be keeping
holding.
Holding. So they finish the curbing and sidewalk, and we'll be releasing $162,550.
Correct.
Correct. Is there a motion?
Just on the motion, Madam Chair, do they get an occupancy permit if they don't, Evan?
They they shouldn't, but I mean, if they don't and they walk away with it and the city needs to finish it, I would say that that would be reason to hold an occupancy permit, but also I'm not the one who makes those decisions. That would have to be from the building department. But that makes sense to me.
Yeah, just curious. I don't know why we would issue it if it's not done, but I'll motion to release to hold 83,000 for the remaining lots.
I'll second.
And just you'll want to state the amount that you want to release as well. 162,550.
I'm sorry, Evan, can you repeat that number?
Yep. It's 162,550.
Okay. So I'll motion to release 162,550 from Mia Meadows and to hold 83,000.
That works.
I'll second.
All right. Roll call. Matthew,
Yes.
James,
Yes.
Marty,
Yes.
Rolando.
Yes.
Yes. All right. Thank you. Moving on, is J.K. Holmgren Engineering Scott ready to go for 985 Belmont Street?
There he is. Let me move him over. He should be rejoining. And hey, Scott, is there anyone else with you that you need to move over, or is it just you? Okay, just you.
No, sir, just me.
All right.
Hey, Scott.
Good evening, board members. Good evening, Madam Chair. Happy New Year to everybody. I know
You
it's
too, Scott.
January 6th and it's kind of late to do that, but it's the first time I've seen all you folks. So I have well, first, Scott Farrier from Holmgren Engineering. I have a site plan for you folks to look at 985 Belmont Street. 985 Belmont Street is at the corner of Belmont and Coolidge, directly across from Manley Street, next to the roadway apartments, currently the site of Avon Auto Brokers. And if I can share my screen.
Did you send a request, Scott?
I just did, Isaiah.
All right, you should be all set.
There we go. All right. Perfect. So this is the existing conditions of the site. As I said, at the corner of Coolidge and Belmont, existing Avon Auto Brokers. I'm sure everybody knows the site. Across the front of the building is an extensive area for the cars for sale. A little bit of a drive around, some paving in the back, an extensive drainage system. They have a drainage detention pond on the side. What we're looking to do is pretty much start from scratch. If I go to our site, we're looking at proposing about a 40 by 130 foot tunnel type of car wash, kind of the modern car wash, where we would enter in off of Coolidge Street, and then go through the pay kiosk stations, enter in through the front of the tunnel facing Belmont Street, through the tunnel and out the backside. At that area, you would have two options. You could either exit back out onto Coolidge Street and ultimately to Belmont, or you could enter the vacuum area, vacuum your cars, and then head back out onto Coolidge Street. The exit out onto Belmont Street would be an exit only, and it's an emergency exit only. Really, there's really no opportunity for anybody to come out and exit onto Belmont Street. It would be signed as a right-hand turn only, and it's curved that way. So obviously you wouldn't want to cut through the 2 lanes of traffic to head up Belmont Street. But with the design of these facilities, once you get through the pay station, you obviously know you want to go to the car wash. You would enter into the tunnel and exit back out onto Coolidge Street. We've gone through 2 tech review meetings, had some minor questions, mostly some landscaping issues, things like that. One thing that did come up with the the fire department and in the planning department was the hours of operation, which at the ZBA we agreed to 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. 7 days a week, and also the question as to whether or not the facility would be gated. And again, that was a concern that the ZBA had just from other car washes in the area. So we do have gates proposed across our entrance on Coolidge and across our entrance exit out onto Belmont Street that will be opened by the facility operators each morning and then closed again at night. Really, everything else is pretty cut and dried, Madam Chair. The detention pond is going to stay. It's going to be new curbing, new pavement, new landscaping, a couple of additional drainage areas to handle the roof runoff. We did go to Conservation Commission and received an order of conditions from them a couple of months ago, I believe, back in November. So we're clean with conservation. We had a peer review through the Conservation Commission that we went through to get the drainage and the site plan approved. And that's really all I have, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Scott. So my first concern that you partially addressed was that exit onto Belmont Street, and you said it would be for emergency purposes only. How's that going to be flagged for emergency purposes? Because that is a quite, before the meeting started, I made mention that I bought a lot of cars from Avon Auto Brokers, and getting in and out of that exit was quite dangerous, especially when my son, 19-year-old son with his new license, was driving. But how is that going to be
Understood.
controlled as an emergency exit only?
There is, I'm going to zoom up if I may, Madam Chair. There is signage proposed right here at the corner. You can see this little symbol right here that will say no left turn, right turn only. I mean, you know, besides that, there's really no reason. Once you get through the pay stations, you've obviously committed to your car wash. There's no reason anybody would go out that way, Madam Chair.
Okay, thank you, Scott. Board members, other questions?
Yeah, Madam Chair, if I may. Scott, can you just take me through the green space specifically that's on Belmont Street in the corner of Coolidge?
Certainly, Mr. Sweeney. 1 second. There we go. So this is our proposed landscaping plan. Most of the landscaping that we have, we're really not proposing anything on Belmont Street, just to prevent any sight distance issues from cars that are waiting on Coolidge Street at the light to get out onto Belmont. So this will remain a landscaped area, basically a green area up in the front on Belmont Street. And then the rest of the site, as you can see, is pretty heavily landscaped, proposed landscaping with a lot of trees and shrubs.
You've got the light at that corner though, right, Scott?
Yes, there is a
Okay, so
traffic
it's not
light.
like you're navigating that without a street light.
Agreed.
So, you know, nothing in the front. Could you put something in the front there to have some greenery? It doesn't. You don't have to be overwhelming with it, but could we do anything up there?
How about 3 trees, Mr. Sweeney?
Whereabouts?
I think we could put one. There's a concrete kind of a walkway right now getting to the site that would remain. So we could probably go just off to the side of that. And then I should say 2, I think would work better, Mr. Sweeney. If we came off the front corner of the building right here where my cursor is, and then a second one right here where the parking lot kind of makes it sweep.
Could you throw the third one near that big one that's closest to the corner on Coolidge?
Right over here.
Yeah.
Certainly.
Yeah.
One
When you
more
say
on Coolidge and 2 on Belmont.
I just
When you
think,
say-
you know, it would help that location, that corner quite a bit.
When you say trees, do you just mean small shrubs?
No, here's the trees here that we would that we typically do in Brockton. The paper birch is one kind, and then the red maples.
That's so nice.
There's some other oak trees that are proposed, but we would go with one of those 2 trees, Madam Chair. The rest of there are a lot of shrubs. The little smaller symbols are actually shrubs, but I think in this area, Mr. Sweeney's talking actual shade trees.
Scott, could we go with the red maple? Would that be all right?
Sure.
Okay. That is all I have, Madam Chair.
That makes James happy. I mean,
All that matters.
they are nice, but, and, you know, he's right, there is a street light there, because, we have an issue with another corner, and there, a homeowner has a shrub that has now grown into a tree, and it's very dangerous trying to get onto, Torrey Street, so anyhow, it's gotta be careful with that. All right, any other questions?
Yes, Madam Chair, a question that I have is just in regards to how water management is gonna be on the site, and if how yeah, like how do you all plan to keep the water that is being used on the site and going
Yeah.
into the systems and not into our
Yep. So,
into
so
our
that
water.
it's, no, it's a good question. And we've done a couple of these car washes in the area, and it is a, you know, with the new technology, they don't use a lot of water. The water is constantly recycled. On this plan here, we have what we're calling reclaimed tanks and piping, these a series of 3 tanks right here, where the water, there's drains in the floor within the car wash. The water is cycled through these tanks and then brought back into the car wash building and continually reused. The Washville car folks that are the applicants, they have a bunch of car washes all over New England. They have service contracts with pumping companies that come in and maintain this series of tanks to make sure that the water is clean and all the sediment is removed and disposed of properly. So there is no runoff from the actual car wash that gets out into the parking lot. It gets added into the drainage system.
Thank
On
you.
that spot, is there any green resources like rainwater or solar or anything?
There really is nothing proposed, Madam Chair, nothing like that with the, you know, the actual mechanics of the car wash.
I was just asking, wondering, thank you. Anyone else, questions?
Madam Chair, could I just ask Scott, they are not connected to city water, you're saying?
No, they are connected to city water,
Okay.
but you know, just for the bathroom facilities and but that's really it. They do not they don't constantly use water every time they wash the cars. It's basically one time the tanks get filled, and then after that they just keep getting recycled. The water
Pretty
does.
good.
Yeah, it is.
Thank you.
It is.
Yeah. All right, let's just open for public comment.
Ladies and gentlemen, if anyone would like to comment on this, please use the raise your hand icon and you will be allowed to speak. And I don't see anybody raising their hand, Madam Chair.
All right, is there a motion?
I'll motion to approve with standard conditions and also add 3 red maple trees in addition to the landscape, 2 on Belmont Street and 1 on the Coolidge side intersection.
Perfect.
I will second that with an emphasis on the red maple trees.
All right, roll call, Matthew,
Yes.
James,
Yes.
Marty,
Yes.
Yolando,
Yes.
Tony, yes. All right, thank you.
Thank you, folks.
All right, Scott, I guess you're up again for 651 Belmont Street.
Madam Chair,
ma'am.
I think we missed a segment, the A&Rs, just a heads up.
We did. If you guys want to wait until after the next site plan, you can, or we can do
Okay.
it now.
No, I just wanted to make
it's up
mention of
you.
it so that we remember, that's all.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
I don't have the new agenda printed, so I'm trying to work off my screen. All right, Scott, 651 Belmont Street.
All right. Again, Madam Chair, Board Member Scott Farrier, Holmgren Engineering. Kind of an exciting project here, 651 Belmont Street. I'm going to request to share again, Isaiah. There we go. So 651 Belmont Street is the Shaw's Plaza. You can just barely see it on my sheet, the very top of the page. Shaw's supermarket over towards the right. The building over to the left is the liquor store, the dental office, and H&R Block. So we are proposing a Chipotle restaurant with
Yay.
additional retail space. Right there on Belmont Street. This is the signalized intersection. Just to the left of the intersection is the Bank of America and Taco Bell. So as all you folks know, there's the existing boulevard entrance that comes in off of Belmont Street. To get into the Shaw's Plaza, there's a curb cut right in this location here. And then at that point, it's pretty much a free-for-all through the plaza and all the way down out to the next plaza and ultimately out to back out to West Street. So we've had this proposed plan kicking around with the planning board for almost a year now. And the new thing with these Chipotle restaurants, they have a pickup window, a drive-up pickup window, not necessarily a drive-through lane. You can't order there, but for mobile orders, you can come across and pick up at the Chipotle lane is what they call it. So because of that, with all of these fast food restaurants with drive-up windows, it kind of gets messy dropping them into an existing parking area with existing traffic flows. So in working with the planning department, we came up with a scheme that basically creates this boulevard entrance right here. Right now, there is no landscaped islands within the parking area at Shaw's. So we're proposing these 3 landscaped islands across the travelway. Will be curbing in another landscape island. So this will force anybody that wants to go to Chipotle or the retail space to enter all the way around and swing around. The drive-through lane would then come across this way, exiting back out either into the plaza or out onto the driveway to get out onto Belmont Street. The other good thing that we talk about with these redevelopment projects, these old plazas that have been there for all of our lifetimes really don't have any drainage, and any drainage that they do have certainly don't meet stormwater guidelines that we deal with currently. So the best thing about these redevelopments is we get to take a portion of the parking lot and get it into our modern drainage system and get some stormwater management and get some clean water going back into the groundwater as opposed to everything sheet flowing across the parking area. Besides that, on this one, Madam Chair, the one thing that came up with the planning board through the tech review process, looking at the Starbucks that you folks approved a few years ago just down the road, there's a lot of pedestrian traffic where people kind of cut through the landscaped areas that were proposed, and the landscaping really hasn't had much of a chance to take at the Starbucks. So because of that, Evan requested that we put a short fence, just a 3-foot high wrought iron fence, pretty much across the front of our Chipotle site, right on Belmont Street, just to prevent people from cutting through the landscaped islands. As you can see, this green area, we've got considerable landscaping proposed, and that fence also continues down the roadway in kind of alongside our building. So it'll really force any pedestrians to continue using the sidewalks and the facilities to get around to the front of the building. So we've done that. We do have, as I said, extensive landscaping proposed. Right now, when you drive through the plaza, within the parking area itself, there is no landscaping at all. There is some landscaping at the boulevard entrance. We're proposing trees to be planted within those landscaped areas, and also some additional plantings along this landscaped area. To beat Mr. Sweeney to the punch, I will show you the landscape plan, and we do have some shrubs proposed along Belmont Street. Not the big trees, but we do have a series of shrubs proposed all the way down the street within that landscaped area. So hopefully that would suffice and take care of it. There's with all of these retail spots in the lease, they have certain requirements as to what we can do in front of the building. Obviously, with Chipotle and the other retail space being pretty close to the street, they wouldn't be thrilled if we had trees, either maple trees or the other birch tree proposed right in front of the site and cutting down on their visibility. So hopefully in this case, the shrubbery we have across the front will suffice and will satisfy the board. Any questions? I'd love to answer, Madam Chair.
No, I don't have any. Other board members?
Now,
Yeah,
Madam Chair, Scott, I just have to tell you, I think this is great. Number one, I love Chipotle, first and foremost. But number two, the Shaw's parking lot is a nightmare
It is.
because there's absolutely no directed ways to go. So this is gonna really improve the site. And I love the Chipotle Lane. Is that what you said?
That's what it is, Ms. Crowell. So you can call ahead, get there, your food will be ready. You don't have to get out of your car.
And you drive up the Chipotle Lane.
It's perfect.
Very clever. All right, that's all I have, Madam Chair.
You're like Santa Claus tonight, Scott.
Yeah, exactly. Yes.
Madam Chair, I do have 2 points to address. So Scott, this drive-through is a little bit unique in the fact that the car lane aims towards the street. So when you're sitting there waiting for your food, the
Yep.
cars and the headlights aim towards the stopped vehicles on the street at Belmont. Am I correct in saying that?
Yes, right in this area here.
So what is blocking that? So if you're at that stop light, are you just taking on the headlights from the side? Is there any shrubbery that's blocking that? It's unique because none of the other drive-throughs on that street aim at the street
You're right.
when you're at the window.
It is interesting, and we have these shrubs proposed here, but again, they're low-lying shrubs. Really, nothing that's gonna block that. As I said, we've got the fence proposed, but it's a wrought iron fence. That's certainly not gonna give us any shield from the lights, Mr. Sweeney. So,
I mean, would one mid-size in that green space, I don't think that would kill visibility to a giant Chipotle, but on the low, if it's chest level, it might block from, glaring light with people at the light.
Mm.
you just see what we have proposed there. If I can just see my.
Jim, isn't the same as
Yeah.
McDonald's?
McDonald's it's
yeah.
parallel to the street.
Yeah, the McDonald's, you're going along Belmont and then you're heading back towards the plaza. But these shrubs here, Mr. Sweeney, these 7 shrubs that I've got right here,
Mhm.
those are the compact junipers, which hopefully I've got a picture.
Yeah, how tall do they get?
I mean, well, when you're at McDonald's, if we're gonna nitpick, I mean, when you're ordering your food, your headlights are facing directly onto Belmont. So
There at that point.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
I don't think this is,
You got a car in front of you though, so it would block it.
I mean,
When-
not always.
Because I think, honestly, Mr. Sweeney, these are planted at 18 inches high.
Okay.
So they're going to grow. So, your headlights are 30 inches off the ground. So I think those would provide a little bit of that screening that you're looking for, ultimately.
Okay. All right. And I guess I'll move on to my other issue. So this entire lot I think you had said, does not conform to the green space that's sufficient for any development, correct?
Correct.
So, one thing that I thought of, so you don't want to block anything in front of on Belmont Street. However, it looks a little lopsided with the development on the left, and then there's just open parking, massive parking lot to the right. Would there be any chance do you see where the fence comes to an end at the right side where that iron,
Sure.
right there.
Yep.
So, and this is all on one parcel, correct?
Yes.
So would it be too much to take the next parking spots going the other direction on that whole lot and even
Yep.
out the parking spots? So if that's 23 spots until you get to that point right there?
Yep.
So if you went in for that middle section, as deep as the parking lot spot is, all the way over till you get to 23 on the other side, and you had a middle section of green with curbing, it would at least even out the parking lot, even out that whole area. Because when with one development on one side, plus the property doesn't meet green space, I think it's a nice counterbalance to at least create some drainage through that and opening up that to green space in the middle, and then you still have parking on the other side if in the future
So
you're going to do something else.
Just so I'm clear, so you're talking right in this area here.
Yeah.
I've got 25 spaces from the
Okay.
corner to this landscaped island. So you're
Yeah.
saying go another 25 down Belmont Street and put another landscaped island?
So let's just say from the opposite end, count 25 spots, and then whatever's in that middle section, it might be 15 to 20 spots.
I got you. Yep.
As deep as, as whatever size rectangle that is, make that all green space and retain it with curbing. That way it looks a little better, and if we can get some trees in that space, it will not block the visibility. However, it'll look a lot better from the street and to the public and the community.
It'll be symmetrical, those two landscaped
Right.
islands. Yeah.
Yeah.
We can certainly do that, Mrs. Sweeney.
I'm just not sure how many spaces that may be in a motion.
It's one space. That's pretty much what we do. The spaces are, as you know, they're 9 by 20 spaces. We pretty much just keep going 9 feet and block off one of them for landscaping, so it doesn't mess up the existing striping that's out there. They would just put the curbing within one of those spaces. So it's,
Okay.
it's a relatively easy fix.
But it would be that whole middle section, just so we're on the same page.
Yes.
Almost as large as the parking you've got on the street towards Belmont Street on that section. It's about that big. It's probably almost 20 spots.
Oh, all right. So I was misunderstanding. So you're saying losing 20 spaces?
On the right side, you don't have it on the map there, but it's on the parcel. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yep. Let me just try to get to the overall plan. There we go. So here's the overall plan.
Okay. So
here's where our fence ends. Here's that proposed landscape island.
Okay.
So
from here
yeah,
to I mean, essentially, since it's like that, I didn't know the fence went all that deep.
Yeah.
I mean, if you had a nice rectangle chunk off the front that you could, I don't know what that may be. If you wanted to leave another, it'll be less than 25, but to have a middle section that kind of balances the whole thing. 1, 2.
Yeah. So what we've got now, we've got 25 spaces here.
Yeah.
And then 17 on the other side.
I mean, if you could do 10 spots, at least it would be towards the middle. Do you need up until that gate?
Yeah, the problem, Mr. Sweeney, we're right at the zoning, and unless the zoning ever got rewritten for the parking requirements, but
For parking, okay, so you have to be on the other side of that.
Yeah, we're
That's
right
no
at
big deal.
Yeah.
I mean, if you could leave 7 spots and have the middle 10 green, I think that would be great. I think that gives that property a little bit more green space, especially in the front. It doesn't block Chipotle.
I would agree. It would we would then be in zoning violation.
How is that?
For the parking spaces, for the plaza.
No. So you don't need all the spots on the property, right?
No, we do. I've got one extra space entirely. We've got 386 spaces, and actually, I don't. We need 3. We have 386, and we need 386.
So you need every space on that lot?
According to zoning. Realistically, no, but according to zoning, yes.
I don't know. Without it, I just think it still looks kind of like a mess, but that's just me being honest. I think you need some green in front of that massive lot, but
All right.
what it is.
So any other questions, board members?
Yeah, Madam Chair, I guess just to follow up on James' thing, could we provide a waiver for that or no?
Zoning, it would have to go to the ZBA.
Yeah, the ZBA, okay. I guess my question is more in regards to like that sidewalk that exists on Belmont going on to the plaza, because right now it doesn't look like there's going to be an extension of that sidewalk.
Right.
I don't know if that's something that, because we're talking about pedestrians walking in that area. I imagine students from Brockton High trying to go to Chipotle or trying to go to Shaw's. There is that. I love that you guys added that crosswalk right there. But if we are thinking there's that sidewalk over there in that intersection, students are already dealing with the traffic. They're walking into traffic sometimes on that road. So I don't know if you all have considered extending that sidewalk a little further up.
Yeah, we really didn't. The crosswalk right here was something that was brought up by the planning department. So there's getting across the street from Brockton High. There's another crosswalk across the entrance to the plaza that would get you to this sidewalk, and then another concrete sidewalk here, and would get you into our plaza. And if you needed to, you could go around and get to the shores. So that would be the most direct route and get you get you off of the traveled way as quick as possible. So that was the solution we came up with, the planning department.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I guess it as long as we're thinking about how people are moving on
Yeah.
foot with this space.
The other difficulty is this heavy line right here is the limit of the state highway layout. And the sidewalk ends right here. So we've got whatever that is, 15 or 20 feet of your construction would need a state highway permit, which isn't
okay.
necessarily easy to get, since it isn't controlled by us, it's the state. That would make it pretty difficult, especially since it's a newly constructed roadway and sidewalk system.
All right. Yeah, I mean, I think the solution that you guys currently have makes sense. And then for if they are gonna leave Chipotle to continue walking onto that parking lot to go to Shaw's, how do you all imagine that working out?
We do have sidewalks all the way around the building. And then from there, I think it's just, they would just walk it, through the parking areas you would currently.
Okay.
But we can at least get people, safely around our building with our proposed sidewalks.
Would you be, I guess, like I'm just trying to think, like, how could we at least communicate to, because that area is already pretty difficult for vehicles moving through that parking lot. And if and I know we're like trying to reconfigure it to make it safer for all users. Is there any way we can communicate like that walkers would be crossing to go towards Shaw's? Like, could we add a crosswalk where that A is, or
We could certainly, again, it's private property. We don't, we wouldn't have any issue putting a crosswalk right in this area.
yeah, I'm just
Yeah,
trying to think of different solutions.
No, I understand what you're saying, just to make people aware of primarily kids cutting through the parking lot. We could certainly put a crosswalk in that area.
Great, thank you.
So if this passes, then we'd want to make that a condition.
Please.
Okay. Thank you, Londo. Any other questions? All right, I'll open up to public.
I'm sure there is nobody here.
Okay, is there a motion?
Motion to approve with standard conditions, in addition to adding the crosswalk.
There a second?
Second.
All right, roll call. Matthew,
Yes.
James,
Yes.
Marty,
Yes.
Yolando,
Yes.
Tony, yes. All right. Now we'll move backwards to the
Thank you,
A&R.
folks.
Thank you, Scott.
Thanks for your
Bye-bye.
time. Good night.
Night now.
Excuse me. Going backwards to the A&R for Eldon Keith Field. Evan?
All right, let me pull this up. I forgot how to do this. All right, so there was this was submitted as an A&R, meaning they are saying that this does not require the planning board's approval to move forward, and are asking the board to basically verify that fact. Unfortunately, after my review, I disagree that this qualifies as an A&R. This to me, this shows a subdivision. This is splitting one piece of property into two lots. As you can see, lot 1 and 2. Just in case you guys don't know where this is actually the big field behind the Boys and Girls Club. And this is part of the Boys and Girls Club project, which is a great project, but that's irrelevant to what we're looking at now. We're basically just kind of making a determination on if this meets a legal threshold or not, and how they go forward with the submission. Again, right now, since lot 1, the little one on the side here, has no frontage, and it's required, the zone it's in, R3, is required 100 feet of frontage. This is basically, you can't really do this. If this was extended all the way to West Elm and it had 100 feet, then this would hit the requirements for an A&R, and you wouldn't have to go through the subdivision process. As it's drafted right now, this would need to be resubmitted as a definitive subdivision. Now, this can be fixed very easily by just changing some wording around on this. They just need to revise some wording, and then it could qualify as an A&R. I spoke to the applicant about that. They were going to do it, and I've never heard back from them. I reached out to them again, and I still have never heard back from them. So, my recommendation to the board is to make a finding that this shows a subdivision. And then if the applicant revises it, resubmits it revised, then as an A&R, then they can just go forward. But as it stands now, I would not endorse this as an A&R.
So basically, we need a motion to approve or deny this A&R.
So
with the recommendation.
Yeah. So what I would do for a motion is I would say motion to determine this shows a subdivision. That's what I would kind of do it as, because what you're doing is making a finding whether this shows a subdivision or not, and whether it needs approval or not.
All right. Board members, do you have questions?
Yeah, I'm just curious, if this didn't meet the standard, why was it even on the agenda?
Well, because the board has to make a decision one way or the other. That's basically why they're coming to you. They're saying, hey, we think it's this. Do you guys agree with me or not?
Do we have a reasoning as to why it is the way it is?
Why they made it this way, I'm not sure. I don't know if they just did it incorrectly or not. I have already brought the deficiencies up to them and told them what they need to fix in order for it to be able to go forward. And I just haven't heard back from them. So I don't know.
How did you communicate this to them, Evan?
On the phone. I had a phone conversation with them.
Phone conversation. Okay.
Yep. And then I reached out to them in email again as a follow-up.
So you do have it in writing. Okay, good.
Well, Evan, the entrance is near the easement or close to, am I correct?
So right now, don't look at the whole project. You're just looking at the lots that are being created.
Yeah, but I know what the whole project is, so it does matter why it's mapped out the way it is.
Sure, but also it doesn't a little bit, because again, this is literally just for how this is basically making a determination for how they submit and how an approval process goes forward.
I guess I'm just afraid of it going back and forth. I mean, how do we avoid that? Because if there is a legitimate issue, here we go again,
So I'll tell you exactly how they can fix this. They can rename lot 2 to lot 1. They can rename lot 1 to parcel A. They can add a note on here that says not a buildable lot. And they can get rid of this note that talks about a variance that's irrelevant, and instead add into that what the intention for this piece of property is, which is really to be what's it called? It's going to be added to the one over here that has the Boys and Girls Club on it. So if they write that out and say that this is not to be used on its own, it seems nitpicky, but it's just the legal precedent for how to deal with this. And they just need to change some wording on it, and then this could have been taken care of weeks ago. So
The lack
I'm not
of
sure
response.
why they haven't.
But the lack of response is just silly. They could have just responded and cooperated and it wouldn't be before us, so.
Right. And just
And-
let me be clear. If you guys determine this as a subdivision, it's not a denial. It's not like they can't come back. It just means that they can't go forward to the registry yet. They either have to come back with this plan through you guys as a subdivision, or they have to revise their plan so it meets the qualification so they can just go forward to the registry. It's a
Evan,
very,
could
very,
we just
yeah.
Yep. postpone this another? I work very closely with the Boys and Girls Club in Metro
No,
South,
you can't,
and so
unfortunately.
I hate to like postpone them or delay them.
The-
They do a lot of like great things for our local community.
So let me
So
just
there's
hold.
no way to
It's again, this is
look
nothing to
past
do
the
with
applicant's shortcomings.
just again, I'm all for this project. I hate that it's taken so long. It's kind of frustrating that they're doing sloppy things like this, but this is unfortunately the Mass General law. And unfortunately, there's a time limit to when the board has to make a decision on these. So there's no, you can't really push it back or anything. You have to make a determination one way or the other. And again, it's
Okay.
not based on how you feel about anything. It's basically like this either meets a legal threshold or it doesn't. It's one or the other. And again, it's not going to affect anything really. They could make these revisions, send the new plan into us tomorrow, and be good, moving forward. So,
But would they still have to wait for the next meeting for us to approve the A&R?
we will
No.
talk about that in the next item.
But like before we discuss that, as everything stands right now, is that a yes or no?
I honestly,
Because we would essentially have to
Not-
approve it if they resubmitted the work, right? Unless we approved it today contingent upon them changing it.
you can't do that because as soon as you guys make a determination that it doesn't need approval, it's now out of your authority and you cannot rescind that or do anything else.
Evan, can I just,
Even if
can
it's
I,
incorrect.
Madam Chair, can I just jump in?
Sure.
Evan, are you saying that if this is not a subdivision? It is, but they don't want it to be. So they have to take it back and make it an A&R.
So
And then we'll,
yeah,
Right.
so Mark, there's a legal definition for what a subdivision is. And anything that falls within that legal definition needs to go through the definitive subdivision process and be approved by the board. If it doesn't hit those threshold to be a legal subdivision, then it doesn't need the approval of the board. They
Right.
technically can just go forward to the registry. They don't actually legally need you guys to endorse this. It's good practice because it has your eyes on it and your verification that they're not trying to do something that they shouldn't. But as far as I'm aware, actually, so Matt, this actually might answer your question. There was legal precedent set a few years ago from a case in Brockton, I believe, that says as long as a plan basically qualifies as an A&R, I mean, like approval not required, that they can move forward. Now, I don't know how that works logistically, who reviews that, but I don't think kicking this back tonight will really affect the project at all, as long as they just do what they're supposed to, which there's no reason for them not to.
As long as they resubmit it the way that you had suggested.
Yeah.
Which the way that you've described it shouldn't be an issue
It
for them
shouldn't
to
be
do
a-
because they're not planning on using right now lot 1 as anything buildable.
Right. Like I said, I know this seems a little nitpicky, but it's
Well, I don't
legal
think
stuff,
at
so we
all.
have to be accurate. Yeah.
I feel like you've been very helpful, and I asked how you communicated. You had a conversation and followed up with an email, and then there was no response. So I'm all for the Boys and Girls Club too, but where's the follow-up to the suggestion that he offered? So
well, it's the
we don't
law.
have to we don't have to open up this to public, right?
No, this is not a
up
public
for
hearing.
okay. Is there a motion?
I'd like to make the motion, but I don't know exactly what it is. Evan, are you saying that we should,
So what I would do is I would what would I say? I would say you're basically making a finding. So you're determining that this is a subdivision. So the motion is basically I make a motion to determine this is a subdivision, I guess.
You're either going to pass it or pass it as an A&R or not.
If we deny it, Evan, are they able to still resubmit?
Yeah, this is not a public hearing or anything like that. You're not, even if you determine it's a subdivision, it's not a denial. It's just, you're just saying, no, this is not correct for us. Like, as it is now, you can't move this forward without our approval. Now, they can just go back and change it. And
Right.
then
So can
once it's
Can we
correct, then it's
just
fine.
motion to not move forward with an approval?
Yeah, so
No.
yeah, I mean, basically, basically what you're trying to do here is determine whether this shows a legal subdivision or not. So if you find that it's a legal so basically the denial in this point would be you finding that this is a legal subdivision. So if you say, like, motion that the board determines that this is meets the qualifications of a legal subdivision, and then everyone says that, then that would kick it back for them to either revise or come back, resubmit through the definitive subdivision process, which I don't.
Which
honestly
they're
know
not
why
going to want to do.
I don't know why they would do that anyways, because again, they just have to change some wording around and they're fine.
All right, so I make the motion that we determine this as a legal subdivision.
And I second that motion.
Okay, roll call. James,
Yes.
Matthew,
Yes.
Yolando,
Yes.
Marty,
Yes.
Tony, yes. All right,
Tony, you're getting sicker.
I know. I need to
Sorry.
take my pill and get to bed. So now we're off to the last item on the agenda, which is an A&R discussion. What is this about?
So this touches exactly on Matt's concern about having to wait to next month to re-review one of these. The board can delegate that review authority to the planning department staff if they want to. It's in your subdivision rules and regs that you can delegate that. Basically, instead of having to bring it to a meeting and have the board make the determination, we can do it administratively in the planning department. Meaning somebody comes in and we can look it over and say, yep, that's an A&R, and they can endorse it right away and they're off. They don't have to worry about waiting. And if it's not, and in this case, I could say, oh, nope, it's not, go back and fix it and come back instead of having to wait for the next meeting for you guys to make the decision again. There's also, per mass law, these are supposed to be, the board is supposed to make a action on these within 21 days of proper submittal, or else they get constructively approved. And since you guys only meet, we only have meetings once a month, that opens the possibility up for somebody to throw something in, saying it's an A&R right after like one meeting, having a 21-day period up before the next meeting and then getting it approved. Now, it might not have been a subdivision. It's honestly, it opens up to get around that. You either need to have a meeting every other week, or you run the risk of people taking advantage of that to circumvent subdivision control and board approval on things. Now, I don't know if that actually will happen, but it is a possibility.
So like if this was submitted prior to the 21 days ago or 22 days ago, this would have automatically been approved because we wouldn't have met on it.
Actually, I didn't mention, but actually this was submitted over 21 days ago, but they didn't do the proper submission procedure with the clerk, so it doesn't count. But yes, otherwise it would have been.
Evan, how could we make a clause in there that you can't submit one of these until you're within 21 days of a meeting? Why are we allowing them to come in on their terms? Why don't we allow? Why don't we put
Well,
it?
no, I don't. It's because a lot of the submission is regulated by state law.
Mhm.
And basically we can't tell them not to do that. They just have, if
So what's the state law for submission?
they have to, I forget, but they have to go and get something official from the clerk, like a certified mail and everything. Do
Do you know how other towns are handling, city or towns are handling this 21-day period? So that,
I know a lot of towns, they meet twice a month. We had been doing it as like a waiver with the submission. It could still be, they could still do that if you want to. The law department has kind of said that's not the best way to do things. I don't know.
what is your suggestion? What is your suggestion that we
My
we take a
suggestion?
vote on allowing the department to decide if it's an A&R, and then we sign
Yeah,
off on them. So what?
Yeah, I mean, my suggestion is yeah, let me handle it for you guys. If there's ever an issue that someone disagrees with my decision, they can always request to come to the board because it's technically your authority.
But how would we know about it, Evan? Honestly, like once it gets, how would we ever know about it?
We can just figure out how we want to do that. I mean, if you decided to do that and you guys wanted to keep up, I could email you every time one comes in with it. And my decision if you want. I don't know. What do you guys, I mean, it's all up to you. Honestly.
I would just as one board member, I think that's what the board's job is. And that's the separation of the board and the department.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that it would make sense to have, if we did, I mean, how often does it happen where we get submissions and we miss the 21-day mark and they automatically get approved without coming in front of us? Is it often?
Honestly, it might be one of those things that happens more than it should and just no one's paying attention.
Well, and why can't we go with James' suggestion with submissions have to be within 21 days of a board meeting?
If you want, I can look into this more if you want. We can,
Yeah.
You don't have to make a decision tonight.
Yeah, talk to legal for us.
It's fine. Let's see. I will say though that will affect this though, because then I'll have to send this back to you guys next month.
And that's fine, but can you please get this in front of legal with James' suggestion and see if that's something that we can vote into?
Okay, so sure. So just if I'm getting this, just make sure we're on the same page. So you guys want to make sure you guys want all these to come before you still to be able to have your eyes on these and make these decisions. We want to figure out more so if we can change the back end process to, not deal with some of the issues that could arise from that. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, the 21-day, they have to submit it, within the 21 days.
I'll look into that. I can't guarantee that we can do anything about that, but I'll look. I'll see what there is.
Chat with legal.
Yeah, and maybe what other towns are doing too.
Yeah, no problem. No problem. Okay. Well, there we go. That was just a discussion, so no vote needed.
All right.
That's that.
All right. So quickly before we adjourn, I just want to congratulate our newly elected mayor. Moses Rodriguez, congratulations, and our other city councilors and other officials. They have a lot of work to do for us. I feel like I've been on this board 100 years, and we've passed a lot of things, and we've had some new businesses come and some growth, but the city is just financially, we need a lot more businesses and growth coming into the city, and hopefully this new government body can help our beautiful city of Brockton. So on that note, is there a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn?
Second.
All right, roll call. Marty?
Yes.
Yolando?
Yes.
Matthew?
Yes.
James?
Yes.
And Tony, yes. All right, good night all.
Feel better, Tony.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Good night, everyone.
Bye.